Greetings, Elinor Robin here, and I want to talk today about paper. Yuck. Sometimes in the morning I wake up and walk into my office and look at my desk and I think to myself, wait a minute, the paper must have had sex overnight and reproduced. How do I end up with so much paper? And it seems every time I leave my house and I come back bringing in more paper. So if you're one of those big shots who says that you've gone paperless and you don't have any paper, this is not for you. Go away and come back and listen to Angela in a few minutes, because I'm here talking to the people who are have an avalanche of paper on them, and the paper is making them crazy. So before I talk about getting rid of paper, that's going to be part 2 next episode. I want to talk about what you need to keep. And I made a list. So what do you need to keep is your birth certificates, death certificates, if you have one, your social security cards, and I would also keep a social security record, a printout from Social Security of what they say you've put in and taken, and well, what you've put in. Certainly your marriage license, divorce papers. As some of you know, my main career was as a divorce mediator. And I am amazed when a client calls me up and tells me that they can't find their divorce agreement and now they have a question about it. Keep your divorce papers in a place where you know what they are, especially the agreement and the parenting plan. Keep any military discharge records. Keep life insurance policies. Keep wills. Keep passports, both the current and old passports. I'm not exactly sure why you need the old passports. I do keep mine, but the experts that I'm reading say keep the old passports. Keep any citizenship papers that you have. And I think you should also keep old tax returns. At one point in time, I did get rid of those that were really, really, really old. And in a way, I was sorry later, because those tax returns give you a record of your history, your work history. Again, back to my divorcing clients, often they let their spouse take the tax return and they don't have one. If you don't have a tax return, the IRS will give you a copy of your tax return, but you don't want to have to go through that. So save your tax returns. You really should save them for 7 years, but at least 3 years. And if you want to save them for more, that's one of the pieces of paper that I'm not opposed to saving. So I'll see you next time when we're going to talk about what to do with the paper, how to get rid of it. Greetings, Dr. Elinor Robin here, and this episode I'm calling Paper Part 2. So last time I talked about what you want to keep. This time, I want to talk about what you want to get rid of and how to get rid of it. And in my perfect world, we would have a way to monetize all of the stuff that's laying around in our houses that we don't need. And I talk a lot about that. But paper is not one of them. If you can come up with some brilliant idea about how to monetize the paper in your house, please let me know, because I don't have it. In fact, I think the first thing that we all need to do is go out and have a shredder. I personally have 3 shredders because I like to have them in various rooms so that when I have something to shred, like part of the mail or something, I can just shove it in the shredder. You can get a shredder at Amazon, Office Depot, any big box store for in the $30 range. And a shredder is a really good investment if for no other reason. The shredder is also a way to help protect you against identity theft. So there are some things you don't want to shred. We talked a little bit about that last time. Anything with historical significance in your life, you really don't want to shred. Some things that you might not want to shred, like for instance, if you have your parents' marriage certificate, even though they've passed on, you may want to keep that. You actually might even want to put that in a frame and frame it. There are some things, some papers that you might want to take a picture of before you decide to get rid of them. And all that is okay. Keep a digital record. If you are so organized that you scan in a whole bunch of papers, that's great. Certainly keeping your medical records. I keep medical records. I am not that organized that I scan them all in, but I keep everything because you never know when you might want to go back and look at something, even though a lot of it is already electronic inside the My Chart or whoever your doctor is using, whatever method they're using. So how do you get rid of paper? Well, one idea is, now you're not going to do this now because right now we're in a no burn zone because we haven't had rain and we've had wildfires. But I do have a friend who once a year holds a fire, and he builds a fire in his yard. He lives out in the country. He builds a fire in a fire pit, and he invites people to come over, and we bring records over, and not records you listen to, like paper records, and we throw them all in the fire, and we watch our stuff all burn. That's one way. If you're not into shredding, you might want to burn. But back to shredding. You can find an organization that does shredding. The ARC in Gainesville does shredding, and I'm sure no matter where you are, there is some organization that will do shredding. UPS store does shredding, and they do have a coupon online. And Office Depot does shredding. Right now, they have a coupon for £5 free shredding. So I think we are going to do one more time, part 3 of paper on the next episode. See you later. Greetings, Elinor Robin here, and this is Paper Part 3, the final episode. So just a few things more I want to add about paper. And if you have any asset, you want to keep the paperwork involved with that asset for as long as you have that asset. So you want to make sure you keep your mortgage, you keep your deed, you keep even your closing statement for the house that you currently own. Once you don't own it anymore, you can let it go. But even things like repairs, if you made a major repair to your house, you want to save that because we don't know what's going to happen with taxes. And you might need to show what you've put into that house when it's time to sell it. We don't know. So if you have an asset, if you have a car, save the records for that car. Maybe you don't have to save every single oil change, but I know some people who do. But you want to save the paperwork involved with any asset you own. Next thing I want to just cover is, if you have paid off a mortgage, if you have paid off your student loan, you want to keep that letter that shows this is paid off, so that if there's ever a question later and somebody comes back to you and says, you owe us money, you want to be able to show them, no, I don't. With that, I think next episode we're going to move on to something else because we've just about covered paper. And I hope you're not covered in paper. Remember, go out and get yourself a shredder and start shredding. See you later.